and welcome to the podcast, and an even bigger welcome to Jason. Thank you very much for coming on.
You're welcome. Thank you very much for inviting me.
No worries at all. I'm very excited to chat and dive into a little bit more around your career up to this point.
Yep.
And also, very excitingly, your current journey through EOS.
EOS. Yeah,
I
EOS
always say EOS.
Yeah, everybody says EOS, but it's EOS. And I think it's even got a little trademark on it as well.
Amazing. Well, from here on out, I will be referring to it as EOS. So before we come on to those three very exciting letters, Jason, would you be able to give us a bit more info around your career journey so far? And if you wouldn't mind taking it right back to the beginning, your first job and what that looked like and the kind of progress from there.
Yeah. Okay. So I think I could go back pre my first job. And, I guess where my entrepreneurial journey started.
Brilliant.
So I'm dyslexic. So I was pretty much written off at school. And interestingly, when I was going through school, dyslexic wasn't really a thing. So that was quite challenging. But I found that I was very good at fixing things. So my dad he's not anymore, but he was a hairdresser. Always been a hairdresser, and so that was his entrepreneurial journey. He ended up with a number of salons and was very successful in that. And at a very early age, I'm guessing about 6 or 7 years old, he would come back from the salon or the salons with about 6 or 7 broken hair dryers, and I would get all the various parts together, fix them, and give him like 3 back. And he would give me a bit of money for them, which was very nice of my dad, because hair dryers were pretty expensive back there. So I think that was my sort of first venture into entrepreneurship. And then I guess my first real job of any sort, so I was a delivery driver for Comet. I don't know if you know Comet. Comet is like, was Curry's of the day. Yeah. Curry's Day. And I delivered whiteware around sort of Hemel Hempstead area in a van. I don't know how it was a summer job, and it was a great gig. I was being paid well just to do that, but I also managed to convince. Well, people used to ask me, can you take my washing machine, my tumble dryer, my dishwasher away? Can you change it for me? So I used to change it, take it away. I used to charge them £5 to do that. And then I had a deal with a whiteware. I don't know if you remember those old sort of whiteware good shops on the high street, secondhand ones. I had a deal with one of those shops, and they would take each one for £5. So, every day I was making about £50 of extra money. So that was a great start, another great start to my entrepreneurial journey of sort of being a bit of a wheeler dealer. And
amazing. And remind me, what age were you when this was so
the Comet thing was, I was driving the van. So I was 17. I just started driving. So I was 17.
Wow.
17 years old. So that was good fun. Yeah, I had a number of other jobs around there. And then I just went through a normal path. My background has always been technology. So I got a ZX81, which was the first personal computer under £100. I got that in 1981 when I was 11 years old. Didn't really know what it was when I got it, but I was hooked from there on, and was programming and that sort of stuff. And then fast forward to about 90, I had a few ventures, but fast forward to 94, 95, I was one of the first, the 10 founding members of a internet company. Right at the sort of birth of the internet, we were providing financial information like a Reuters or Bloomberg's on the emerging markets to JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, the big banks. And it was an exciting journey. We went over a period of about 4 years, we went from 10 people to 250 people, and we sold the business to Euromoney in 99. Wow. And I had a couple of years in America as well as part of that journey, which was good fun.
Amazing. So going back to, it was 95, you said?
Yeah, 94, 95.
So what was the reception like from friends, colleagues at the time when you said that you were going to be starting an internet company? I'm quite intrigued because that must, I can't imagine, you know, now if someone says, oh, I'm starting an internet company, you're like, well, sure.
Yeah, I distinctly remember my friend David saying to me, email and internet's never going to take off. I think the reality is, you know, people didn't really understand what it was going, and I don't think we understood at the time either, you know, the impact that it was going to have. But yeah, my friends and family were just whatever, yeah. whatever. We have no idea what you're doing, but you know, go for it.
Amazing, because that would have been before Google as well.
It was before Google. We were using I think we were using Navigator, if you remember those early days, and I think it was Yahoo.
Nice.
Was the sort of search engine of choice, and there was, you know, most access to the internet was dial-up. Mm-hmm. Remember that the sort of fax machine noise? Yep. That's what it was like. So it was, we really felt like we were pioneering.
Yeah, amazing.
At the time, it was a great time.
Nice,
it was a great time.
And talk me through how it felt to scale a company that big that quickly. Are there any big challenges that stand out, or big wins, or that must have been a whirlwind? That's not a huge amount of time, I guess, for that.
No. I mean, it was a whirlwind. I mean, I was very focused on the technology side in that business, and you know, it was all very new and innovative. I think we had the advantage of youth. You know, I was 24 years old, so I think youth really helps when you're starting a company. It gives you a lot of energy, but then, you know, later in life you have more wisdom. So it's a balance. But I think the challenges back then were very. I think they were very. I mean, you still had to get the right people in the room to do what you wanted to do, but I think the pace of change was a bit slower. So I think that made it easier. But I think in business, you need a lot of luck as well. You know, we had the right product at the right time. The Berlin Wall had recently come down, you know, in 91. The emerging markets was opening. There was sort of, the market was desperate for information, and we were just in the right place at the right time. And we just gathered people that were interested in this new thing called the internet. And we just made it work. And when I look back, it was very chaotic. I would do things a lot differently now if I could go back and do them again. And I would, you know, certainly. And I think we could have done more, you know, with the right structures in place and you know, getting everybody going in the same direction and trying to achieve the same thing, rather than this sort of haphazard chaos. Yeah. Which was fun and exciting at the same time.
Yeah, I guess that was the nature of a lot of businesses that were, you know, working within the realms of the internet, etc., whilst the internet itself was still figuring out what it was.
Exactly.
You know,
exactly.
Everyone's working it out.
Yeah, we were just trying to figure stuff out.
Yeah.
At the time, and that was exciting.
Yeah, definitely. It feels like could be a lot of parallels to things like AI.
I think so. I feel that that's going to go even faster though.
Yeah,
than it did for us, you know, back in the day.
Yeah, it's fascinating speaking to people at the very forefront of AI and asking them about ins and outs or what's happening next. And I love that they're like, I don't know,
who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah.
We got a fascinating time ahead of us. I think it could be scary. It could be scary to us. I think the internet potentially was scary as well. But there's going to be great opportunity.
Okay, at the end of that journey, as you got to kind of selling that business,
yep.
Where'd you go next? I'm always very intrigued. You know, something that you've poured everything into, and it's been your morning, it's been your sleepless nights, it's been your restless weekends. What does it feel like, I guess, first on the day that bit of paper's signed and it's done? What was that like? Relief, excitement, both?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to think. It feels like such a long time ago now. I think I think certain amount of relief.
Mm-hmm.
I think an excitement about what next.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what's possible next. And I took some time out. I went to Africa for three months,
Nice.
which was good fun. And then, you know, I guess I didn't go straight back into work. I think maybe I was a bit beaten up, and it was a lot of effort to get to where we did. So I can't remember. I think I had a couple of years which I was sort of wasn't being very productive. Let's put it. Let's be honest and put it that way.
I'd say maybe rest and relaxation.
Rest and relax. Yeah,
exactly.
Recuperating.
Exactly.
Rejuvenating.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, I can't remember the exact year, but it was probably, I don't know, 2005. Oh, no. I'm missing out a big part. Yes. About 2001. I started a company with another company.
Nice.
With some friends. It was a software as a service, what we call now. So we used to call it. We were an application service provider. That's what it used to be called.
Right, and now it's
software
SaaS.
as a service,
Yeah.
SaaS, and it was I started it with a couple of friends. It was a software platform to help companies better go through the procurement process better. You know, RFPs and tenders. Mm-hmm. So really, I think it would do really well now.
Well, second you said that, I could name 20 companies.
Yeah, I mean, it was 20 years before its time, but it was basically a SaaS product where you got a team together, you built an RFP, you created the scoring metrics. You sent it out to your suppliers or vendors. They would fill it in. It would come back. You could score it, and it would pop out with, based on, price, quality, whatever the things you decided were important, which you ranked and prioritized. It would come out with a winner.
Great
For you. Great piece of software. We ran that. Must have been about 3 or 4 years. We put everything into it. We raised a load of money. But it failed. We spent all the money.
Nice.
We spent it, and we didn't spend it on jets and fast cars. We spent it on the business, and we failed miserably. I don't think we even got one sale. Wow. in that whole time. But we learned a lot. We put a lot in, and it was painful. It was painful. Closing that business down was really painful. We had some good people. Even when I think about it now, I get a little bit choked up about that one.
So how did you find moving on to the next step? Because it's really interesting. A lot of the people that we've spoken to on this podcast, they speak most passionately and credit so much of later success to those failures, to the company that didn't work, or the second and third failure, etc. What was the kind of the next steps from that?
Well, I mean, I found that really, really painful, and it took me a long time to get over that. And it wasn't so much the failure; it was more the amount of effort that we put into it, and we knew we had a great product. It was just years before its time, and that's why we going back to the previous company with the information from the emerging markets. It's so important to be at the right time. But I found that really, really hard to take. We had some good staff, and we had to let them go, and so the personal aspect of it I found really hard, and it took me probably like a year to really let that one go and lick my wounds and start again.
And were there key learnings you were able to take from it, or do you think it was just wrong place, wrong time? Like you spoke about a high degree of luck being involved, and how something like that, could really, land well now.
Yeah, I mean, there's certainly things we could have done better. We could have been more organized in our marketing and sales process. We could have had a clearer message. Help. If people don't understand what you do easily, it's difficult to sell.
Yeah.
And so we didn't get that right. The software was great. So I think, if I look back, we could have done a much better job in our marketing and sales effort. And I think that was because we took it on and we didn't get the right people in. Right people in the right seats.
Right people, something would definitely be coming on to
right people, right seats, I think is definite part. But, we persisted, we worked hard. Maybe it never would have worked at the time, but it was a lot of fun and, great memories. Now, I can look back at some great times, but it's tough to take. That was a tough one.
So you spent a bit of time after that, kind of regrouping. And
then started an IT managed service provider business.
And what was the inspiration behind that? Was that, taking different learnings from those kind of previous experiences, or was there some kind of outside source of inspiration where you saw a gap?
So that came from obviously my background in technology, and really a chance meeting with a couple other entrepreneurs. So it was three of us that started the business, and we were talking about what we felt the market needed. So we felt like there was a lot of companies out there doing sort of support, break and fix. Mm-hmm. That's what I call it, break and fix. And there wasn't really anyone offering that sort of strategic expertise around technology. So we came up with a business model, which is pretty common nowadays. I think there's a lot of IT managed service providers out there that have moved away from break and fix and offer I would say an outsourced IT department for SMEs, which is what we were. And that was the first 3-4 years was really good. We grew quickly. We were, revenues were good and profits were good. But then we just hit a ceiling, and we just couldn't seem to grow the business, and really we just couldn't get what we wanted from the business. And I was frustrated with all my staff. We weren't making enough profit for the time and effort that we were putting in, and I guess I was losing my mojo for it a little bit. Mm-hmm. And it can be quite frustrating as an entrepreneur. It was very frustrating, and also the relationship with my other shareholders, the other owners, was breaking down as well. And it was at that point I came across EOS. So a good friend of mine gave me a copy of a book called Traction by Gino Wickman. I looked at it. I went, here we go. This was probably about 10 years ago now. And I thought, here we go, another, there's so many business books. So here we go, another airport book. And I said, so I left it on my shelf, obviously, quite a while. And then curiosity got the better of me. I opened the book, started reading it, and I was like, I read the first chapter. I was like, oh my God, that's me. Frustrated, stuck, hit a ceiling, not making enough profit. I was like, can this guy read my mind?
Skipping to the end right away. What's the answer?
And I read the book and I was just blown away, because it just set out a way to run your business that can help you achieve whatever you want to achieve, whatever you want to achieve from your business. And we implemented it in my business, and fast forward a few years, I got down to 3 days a week in the business, and sold it a few years ago. And it was an amazing journey. And it always made me wonder, how the hell did I run businesses? Well, how did I run the IT business before EOS? Yep. And how did even any of the other businesses? I mean, I know some of them fail, but also how do we even succeed in a business without this stuff? Yep. And so it really just transformed my life, and really helped get my life back on track. And now I'm an EOS implementer, so I help companies like yourself. And it took me 50 years, but I found my calling in life, which is, I feel blessed every single day.
Oh, amazing.
That I get to do what I do now.
That's inspiring, Jason. For people that are watching and listening that have got no idea what this magical EOS is, what does it stand for? Who is the magical Gino? And yeah, could you just tell us a bit more information around what it is? Because I think from that introduction, I know when I first heard about it, I was incredibly excited. I'm sure lots of other people will be as well. So yeah, it'd be great if you could give us a little bit more information around what is.
Yeah, what is EOS?
Yeah, or what the heck?
Yeah, what the heck? It's go read the book.
Yeah,
there is a book called What the Heck is EOS? So EOS stands for the Entrepreneurial Operating System. And it is just a way of managing the human energy in your business and getting everybody in your organization focused on where you're going and how you plan to get there. And then executing on that vision and plan with discipline and accountability, and also helping you become a healthy, cohesive bunch of people that actually enjoy each other's company and want to spend time with each other. Because, what happened in my business, especially the last one, was that the business had a vision, but it was in my head. I thought everybody knew it for some crazy reason. Nobody really knew what they were accountable for, and nobody really knew what their real priorities were, on an annual, quarterly, even a weekly basis. And I didn't really like anyone in the company because they all frustrated me. But ultimately, it was my own fault.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't explaining my vision. I wasn't helping them understand what they should be doing on a weekly and a quarterly basis. And I wasn't really focusing on any energy on building a great team. So get everyone rowing in the direction, helping you achieve the same thing that you all share and love.
Amazing. That sounds incredible. And I guess, where we've been chatting, you spoke about, starting off, taking apart the hairdryer and putting it back together. And then when you were talking about one of your businesses, you mentioned the break and fix model. And then I guess with EOS again, do you feel that there's some kind of EOS?
EOS.
Do you feel there's some kind of similarity running through there of that, ability to pick apart those pieces and put them back together, which is maybe why EOS has been so powerful for you in within your business and personal life as well. So it feels like that was a bit of a theme.
It's very interesting. I never really thought about it like that before, but EOS certainly is is picking apart to some extent and putting it back better, taking the broken bits and getting them together and fixing them. So I really like that analogy. I think what really resonates with me with EOS is its simplicity. It's specifically designed for entrepreneurial companies. So the tools that we use, which are none of this is software. Because I think people sometimes think it's software. These are just practical tools, that people have been doing for hundreds of years and will be doing for thousands of more, having a weekly scorecard, having quarterly rocks, having a 3-year picture, that sort of thing. So what I really love about EOS is its simplicity, and because it's for entrepreneurial companies, it's not like running a company with 10,000 people where you've got bureaucracy and there's a lot of red tape. It's just enough structure, just enough discipline to keep everybody focused and aligned without creating that bureaucracy and that red tape that's going to stifle, your entrepreneurship and your innovation.
Yeah.
So it's just I don't know. It's for me. It's it's like it's almost like a cult.
Yeah.
in some way, the cult of Gino.
Yeah.
But it's just a beautiful crafted system to run your business on.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And I think it's really interesting when you talk about the simplicity, because, you know, as a business, we've been running EOS now for 2 years.
2 years nearly, yeah.
Almost 2 years. And I remember distinctly the beginning stage of it, the simplicity being so frustrating. You know, we would take away the tools and the guidance, and between us, we'd be saying, well, this isn't right for our business. Our business is special. No, we do things this way, or that's not going to work for us, or no, we try, you know. And, you know, to be pulled back to those kind of very simple principles of, okay, do this and do it for this long and see what happens, and no questions kind of thing. And I think working with you as an implementer as well, to just guide us on that, and, you know, have the patience with it, to then see the results and the fruits come from that after 6 months, a year, has been amazing. But I remember I would say that to anyone starting out on the journey, enjoy the frustration.
Enjoy the, it's a journey.
It is a journey.
It is a journey.
At the beginning, we were thinking, what on earth is this? You know, things that we've, you know, as a business, we've been around for 26 years now. And I think, you know, businesses would say the same that have been around for 5 years or 100 years. Oh, we do it like this, or that's not right for us. But it is.
The beauty's in the simplicity.
Yeah.
And every business, most of the businesses I start with have a very similar journey to you. They go, you know, our business is more complex than that, but we make it complex. That, you know, and I was guilty of that. I had so much complexity and ambiguity in my business, and maybe, you know, if I'm honest, maybe I sort of liked it a little bit, because maybe it made me feel special, or that I was important, you know. But I was wrong.
It's so interesting. Again, from us going through the journey, you know, having that specialness stripped away at the beginning, it felt like, well, you know, just boiled down to the essence. It is quite revealing, but it's only when you get there has it been possible to put the pieces back together and see what's working and what isn't. And, you know, by following those simple methods, it's been very simple to see the next step. So, you know, I was on a podcast a couple of months ago and was asked around what one of the best decisions we've made as a business over the past 2-3 years. And without question, is implementing EOS. It has been the best decision we've made in a long time, and has helped every aspect.
That's great to hear.
Yeah, it's just been amazing to see it run throughout the whole team as well, and you know, everyone getting on board with it, referring to our values, and even, you know, what I really like that shows that it's really, the team are really behind it as well, that people will refer to it in the pub. Like, you know, someone will joke about something and say, oh, you should set a quarterly rock for that.
Like, or put that on the issues list.
Exactly. And it's things like that, you know, obviously people are joking around, but it shows that the team are behind it and they believe in it, which is really important. And that would only happen if people can see the results that it's delivering on a business level and a personal level. It allows people to build their own thing. So, yeah, I'd really recommend it to.
And I think there's, you know, one of the things I want to pick up there is that there's so much power in the common language. You know, that you all because you're running on an operating system, you know, everything has got a term for it. Okay, you might not like it, you know, you might think it's a bit American or something, which I do get, but, you know, put that aside, having, you know, common terms of rocks and issues and level 10 meetings, so powerful.
Yeah, it really is. And it's, as I said, it's been fascinating to watch that at the beginning myself as well. You know, things like the phrase tangent alert, which, you know, for people that aren't aware, is, you know, if we're discussing or debating something and it's getting a bit off track, someone will say tangent. And I remember hearing that at first and thinking, I would never say what that is. It made me honestly cringe and feel a bit sick. Whereas now it's become so commonplace in a way of working, and it is a tool. It's something, but as I say, like the other things, it will, I've had James and Carl reference tangent to me outside of work, right? Like we're just having something to eat or whatever.
Yeah,
just chuck it in, tangent. But it's nice because it does show how much we're all behind it. So
it's brilliant.
Yeah, it's been brilliant.
And I think I don't know about you, but most of my clients, at some point in the journey, whether it's 6 months, 18 months, it just clicks.
Yeah.
They suddenly, it just transforms their business, and that's a great moment.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more on that. I've seen that with other people that have started the journey, within the system later than us, and it's been fascinating for me to check in at the first month and feedback. Hey, this is rubbish. Why have you recommended this? It's annoying. It's it's over. It's not right for me. And okay, well we'll catch up in a few
months time.
And then again and again and again. It's lovely to see. So. Are there any businesses or organizations that you think categorically not right for EOS? If there's someone listening and they're, the same way that if I was listening a few years ago and I'd have been thinking, oh, that's not right for me. Is there anything that, it really isn't right for, or do you think some of the learnings can be applied across the board?
I think that I think, all right, sort of the ideal, our target market, so when we're going after clients, it's companies with between 10 and 250 staff. But that doesn't mean that that's all it's ideal for. I mean, I'm working with someone who's just a sole entrepreneur, and they want to put the foundations in place to run a great business. They're going to be hiring people soon. And, I think there's as far as I understand, there's a company with like 6,000 people running on EOS, and it works for them. I would say it doesn't work for partnership-based companies. So if you're an accounting firm and you're not set up like a business, but you're set up like a partnership, I would say it doesn't really work, because I don't think the accountability structure works. And I think the same with legal firms. If you're set up as a business, great, will work for you. But if you're set up as a partnership, I think it's very difficult to get that work. But if you're in construction, if you're building widgets, if you're providing a service, EOS will work for you. But only if you want it to work for you.
Yes, that's 100%, and I'm sure that you've seen that a few times in the past as well, where people maybe haven't been fully behind it. So we mentioned tangents. I'm going to throw a big tangent in now. A lot of the guests on this podcast have been in the events industry and heavily involved in events. And I thought it'd be great to pick your brains around the importance of in-person events and meeting in person. I know you've attended a variety of different events, hosted different events, from small intimate ones where there's a small group of people that get to spend quality time and share ideas, to bigger kind of forums and panels, etc. What role do you see in-person events having in the world of business and human connection? The reason I ask is because in the time that we've worked together, we've very rarely done anything on Zoom. Yep. And all of our kind of meetings have been in person. And I just wanted to kind of pick your brains a little bit on the importance of spending that time together, whether it be an event or a meeting, etc.
Well, let me start from sort of EOS perspective. And so the reason why I think it's so important for us to get together and my teams to get together when we have an EOS session, which is usually a full day session in person, is really to build team health. So you all get to know, make sure you all, are spending time together as a team, drive accountability. We, in the EOS sessions, there are, we call them rocks, but goals are due on the day that we get together in the room, and you need to have that eye-to-eye contact with the rest of the team to say done or not done. It's that accountability, and you've got to. And I'm also trying to create a safe space for the team to be open and honest, and look each other in the eye and say, have you got this? Are we going in the right direction? Are we all aligned on this? And you just can't get that in a virtual world, it's not as effective because, you can't, it's just not as uncomfortable when there's a difficult conversation to be had. And if it's not as uncomfortable, it doesn't have as much effect. So for EOS sessions in the room together, it's almost non-negotiable as far as I'm concerned. There are teams that do it virtually, but I don't think they get as much value. Yeah. And then on a bigger picture, you just can't beat connections you make with people in a live environment. And if I think back to COVID, where we were forced to be completely online, you just don't build connections with people in the same way, and also you don't have the reference of context. And I don't know about you, but the number of times I would have a Zoom call with someone and then maybe have another Zoom call with them 3 months later, I don't even know who they are. Yeah, because the only reference I've got is a little square box. And then I met some people in person afterwards. I felt like I'd never even spoken to them before. And maybe that's just me, but I was at a Vista event on last week, and you just can't beat that in-person connections that you make with people, because I think it's connections are what make business happen. You when you do business with someone, you've got to trust and like them, and you don't know whether you trust and like someone 100% in the virtual environment.
I couldn't agree more. Well, it's the exact reason we're sat in this small green room without any air conditioning today, because this is real.
This is so much better than, I've done Zoom podcasts. This is so much better than doing it. And actually, we were talking about Stephen Bartlett earlier. He's got his Diary of a CEO, isn't it? All of his podcasts are in person.
Exactly.
And I think there's a good reason for that.
Yeah. Couldn't agree more. Well, I think that brings us to a natural close. So it's been incredible chatting. I think, as I've said, I couldn't be more grateful for everything you've done to help us as a business, and helping us, implement EOS, which I'll always refer to as EOS going forwards from now. But thank you so much for making the time.
You're welcome. I'd love to take all the credit for that, but really it's you and your team that have made EOS work for you. I've just been your guide on the journey, and I really have enjoyed the journey with you guys.
Very too humble and too kind, but very, very grateful. So we look forward to doing it for many, many more years.
Thank you.